How's it going, meatheads? We're back with you for another video to pump up your day with some motorcycle content. I am out here currently scrubbing up some tires. I got a new front and rear set of tires of Dunlop American Elites. This is my second set of these tires. I really do love these tires. I got roughly about 12,000 miles on the last one, the last set. I kind of a little bit hard on tires, so the front tire was also cupped. My rear one was pretty well worn down where there's almost no tread down the middle, so that's obviously just not safe. And cupped in the front, not because they wore down in the middle too much. They were cupped on the sides where I've been leaning them a little bit too hard. The guy I take my bike to, he makes a point of razzing me for how hard I ride my bike, because he's always giving me shit about how he gave me shit about my tires being cupped at the beginning of the year when I was getting my cam done. So I want to talk to you guys about how I break in my tires. And realistically, the simplest way to break in your tire is the same way to break in your engine. Now, a lot of guys will say that they are fans of a hard break-in for your engine. Some guys prefer to follow the manual. I'm the type of person that does a little bit of both. Much the same as I am with my tires. I don't want to go too hard with my tires because they're new tires. So they're not heated up, they have a little bit of oil probably on them. They got all kinds of like factory manufacturing gunk on them. So it is best to take it easy-ish on them, especially if they are cold. Thankfully it is like 85 degrees out right now, and I've been riding for a few minutes, like probably about 30 minutes. So my tires are good and hot, and I've come out to my favorite area to ride, which has a fair amount of straights, fair amount of curves, low speed, high speed stuff. It's all well and good to break in a set of tires, in my opinion, and that's how I like to break in my tires. I like to choose a spot that I know has a fair amount of curves and it has a fair amount of straights, so that way I can not only get my tires properly warmed up, but to also be able to throw them around a little bit. Because the worst thing that you can do is spend all your time riding straight up like this and never get over in a curve, and then all of a sudden when you go to a place where you need to start leaning that bike a little bit, you need to start pushing through corners and stuff, and you never warmed up or scrubbed out your edges, and then all of a sudden you're sliding out because your tires just weren't prepped ahead of time. I'm of the variety of keep it simple, stupid. If you have to start talking about like proper tire temps for maximum grip and all that, and you're not at a track, well, you're getting a little too in-depth there, buddy. Nobody really cares. So in my case, like I said, find a spot that you know has everything that you need to do to not only get your tires up nice and hot, but also to check out all the edges of your tire. Doing this on the straights is alright, but it's definitely not gonna get your tire fully ready. Now obviously depending on what tire you choose, what company you buy from, they're all gonna have a specific amount of miles that it takes for them to be broken in, which, you know, I would follow that as like a guideline more than a rule, because from what I have found, these tires, especially the American Elites, I think they recommend like a 250 to 500 mile, like that's their break-in period. But for me, man, these tires are pretty damn sticky, like within the first 100 miles. Especially once I've done what I've done to them. Like, this is my first time with this set now out here on my curvy roady area, curvy road-ish area. And so I usually find that within the first couple times that I come out here with a new set of tires, they're well broken into that point where I can start throwing it around pretty comfortably. Doing the speeds that I normally do through corners, you know, like those, like a 45 mile an hour rated speed, I can go through there at like 65, 70, leaned over pretty decent, and I don't feel like my tires are walking away from me or anything. So I guess it all depends on your comfort level in a lot of ways. If you're not comfortable breaking them in this way or breaking them in outside of what the manufacturer recommends, then do what is comfortable for you. But, you know, if it was my choice, the place that I would break in tires would definitely be some of the curvier roads that I could find, so that way I get as much of that tire used right away, so that I don't already reach a point where I've cupped a tire, which that's not going to happen immediately unless you have a really sticky tire, which in that case, if you have a really sticky tire, you shouldn't be too uncomfortable throwing that thing around anyway. What are your guys' thoughts? I want to hear from you guys that have gone through a couple sets of tires. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys take it easy for the first couple 100 miles, or do you push it a little bit, push it through the corners, get them nice and scrubbed up right away, so that way you're comfortable on them when you start going through your corners harder? Or do you just kind of just go balls to the wall right away and it doesn't hurt you, you know? I want to know what you guys think down in the comments. I like hearing from you guys. I like having the engagement. I like learning from the community of Harley riders and riders around the world that have some experience as well with how they break in their tires, or how they break in their Harleys, how they break in any motorcycle that they throw a leg over. I want to hear what you got to say. But I think that this is going to be a nice short and sweet video, kind of explaining how I have broken in my tires before. And until next time, guys, as I make it to the corner, I'll see you in the next video.